Tell them who you are and what you did, Miss Butler.
I'm Quantia. I graduated from ATS in 2014.
How many years is that, y'all? Do your math. I know I failed it. 11 years ago.
Yep, I was pregnant. My baby is 11.
That's what I mean to you.
And I came to Shelley in 2023. And I stayed in the class, and then I had a whole lot of family stuff going on. For one, I have an autistic grandson, so, and it was a lot on my daughter, so me and my mom stepped in to help her out. And so I had him like I had him on I had him every weekend. And that started getting in the way of my studying and stuff because he was busy. He was busy.
And what level autism? Like extreme or moderate or mild?
It was extreme.
That's what I want them to know.
At the time,
because there's so many different levels.
Yeah, it was very extreme in the beginning. And plus I worked night shift.
People coming here after nights like you.
After nights.
And a few of y'all do that.
I also have 7 children. Most of them are grown, but you know, I still play a major part in their lives. I have other grandchildren outside of him. So I decided to step back because it started being a little bit too much for me. And I was getting behind. Like, I've never not completed my homework assignments or, you know, anything that we had to do as far as our assignments, but I fell behind, you know, so I stepped back. But in the midst of all that, I was studying. First, I was like still on top of it, just not coming to class, studying. Then I fell more behind because it just like life was Lifen.
That's what it's
And
like.
even with me stepping out for my grandson, I also have a younger teenage daughter, and things started getting chaotic with her as well, you know.
We prayed for them a couple weeks ago if they had teen children. We just prayed. That's hard. They're harder than the little ones.
And then, you know, so I just like, I didn't really give up. It was just like now studying was here and there when I can and stuff like that.
Was you doing any U World or just like,
I was doing U World, and I was watching videos. Yeah, I kept my subscription. I still got it now. It expires next
my people.
next month.
Y'all better get her little password, honey. You ain't hear from me. That wasn't no my opinion.
So and I was like I have a village. I have a, you know, big support system and stuff like that, but things just got to be crazy. So then it's just like when I was ready to, like, it seemed like when my daughter's stuff calmed down and everything with my grandson had got situated, you know, it was more stable. And when things with my daughter would be calmed down, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can study. As soon as I get them picking up them packets and watching these videos again, here she go with more stuff. So it's just like, okay. So, you know, it was a lot of that going on. And then I just started, and working. But then I was just like, yeah, I'm going to have to go to the person in charge. And I just started praying harder.
I love that.
And I just, you know, at first I started being more intentional with my prayers too. I had to be, because at first I was like, I did some crazy stuff.
What you doing? Hey, guy, how you doing? What's your mama?
No, what I did was I was an STNA for 26 years. So in the midst of all this going on, I didn't meet the deadline. Well, I worked, but it just didn't. Something happened and I didn't get my hours in like I was supposed to. So I lost that.
You lost your job?
No, I lost my STNA certification.
Oh, that's never a good idea.
And I paid
until you're a nurse
$500 to go back in the class.
That's how much.
But at this point, I just feel like God had it happen for a reason, because 2 of my oldest sons end up being in the class with me. So they're about to be STNAs. Okay. Now, I didn't get to go back and take the state boards for that because I scheduled my tests. And end up taking that first. But so I started being more intentional with my prayers and stuff. And I promise you, like, I was just like, schedule this test. something happened. My test was scheduled for Saturday, which was the 26th. On Thursday, something happened with my kids at the house. So on Friday, I'm telling my mother, like, I'm not even supposed to tell you, but forget it. I'm supposed to take my test tomorrow, and I'm not taking it. This is not for me. And my mother was like, oh, yes, it is. She was like, oh, you gonna go take that test. And my mother, you know, my mother is a big part of my life and support system as far as, you know, things go. And she was like, no, you're going to go take that test. She said, you know more than you think you know. She said, and you're going to go in there and you're going to show them what's inside that big head of yours. You got this.
Mama. Now, only mama could say that and you not cuss her out.
Oh, yeah. But just to go back a little bit, I'm also a licensed massage therapist. When I went to take my test, I took my mother as my good luck charm and I passed. So Shelly teaches us not to tell nobody. So it was kind of hard not to tell her because it's like, I want to take her with me, you know. But
you went off the day before and she made you take
now,
I love that.
And then I went in there on Saturday on the 26th and I asked for clarity. I asked for me to, you know, when I took my test, I wanted to know what I was looking at when I seen it, you know, so I asked for clarification for that. I wanted to retain this knowledge and know it, you know. And when I went in there, I looked at the test and I'm like, this can't be, I'm being punked. Like, I'm really being punked. This cannot be. And I watched all the testimonies sitting in class and I'm like, is this what they talking about? When I looked at that test, I was like, this is similar to like taking another STNA test. That's what it was for me. Like, it was very
LPN
clear.
Test, right?
Yep. It was very clear.
You asked for clarity.
I did. And I also went in there this day because of all the chaotic stuff that had been happening. It was like, if I'm going in a nurse, coming out a nurse, but if it happened the other way, I'm okay with that too. And then I just know where I got to go from there.
It's his will. If it's his will, you will pass.
Exactly. And when the test cut off at 85, I was like...
85?
I was like, either I killed everybody or I did good.
You know you ain't killed everybody.
Kill them quick, right?
Yeah, so I like that. I couldn't... I actually went home and I was still just like worked up from stuff that was happening. And although I didn't tell nobody. Oh, yeah,
because stuff was going on. You said that.
Yeah.
Like, real bad.
Yeah. So I went and my oldest son was there. He was cleaning up and I just looked at my son and I was like, I took my test and I don't know if I did good or not. Aww. It cut off and I'm crying. And he just hugged me and he was like, Ma, it's okay. He was like, Ma, you know your stuff. You know it, Ma. You got this. How
old is he?
21. And he was like, you haven't even gotten the results back yet. He was like, but I'll tell you what, he said, Ma, I'm working now. He said, and if you didn't pass, I'll pay for you to take it again. That's all you got to do.
Oh, no, he didn't at 21.
Yeah.
Give him my number, child. That's a nice son.
And then my 19-year-old was like, he was in there too, and he was like, you know we got you, Ma. He was like, that's it. If you got to take it over, we'll pay for it. Now, mind you, I just put them through STNA school.
program, right?
Yeah, so they're currently working off their certification, preparing to take their state boards for that. So, yeah. So, I'm just here to let y'all know that life was lifing.
She's on page 3, ain't she? Almost everything on page 3 was her life. You know, life be life.
Things is going to happen or whatever and stuff. And sometimes you just going to have to set them aside if you can. If not, you're going to have to pray through it. Yeah. Y'all got this.
Work through it.
You got
so
this.
What would you say the best advice for our babies are? Because this is the one I told you ran to me in the parking lot. And I'm like, that's one of my babies. And she was like, I passed. I was like, oh my God. And I used to call her Miss Butler in class. But when she passed, and I remember how tumultuous her time was here. Like when she said life was lifing, you won't believe what she's talking about. So we'll leave it there. Yeah. But life really was crazy life. And like, think of the worst and then add 10% to it. It was her life, right? So I was like, okay, she do have to get a lot together. One day, maybe she'll creep on back in here or not. And maybe she'll do it. So when I seen her, I was like, oh my God, you have to inspire some of the people that, you know, sitting in the class right now, you don't know who they are or what they're going through, but like, you know, somebody in this class has had somebody die on them. Somebody else has had their child commit suicide. Somebody in the class right now has trouble remembering stuff because their eye was knocked out by their significant other. Somebody else is waiting on a kidney. This is real people in the class that you sit with. And so when they finally pass and you know what the hell they went through, you're like, wow, there is a God. You can't deny him. You just can't, because like, she was up against the odds, and it was like, okay, is it ever gonna happen for this baby? Because what she would do is her packets and everything, she was doing the work. I'm like, of all people that needs this to happen, God, it's her. Where did she go? And I used to call her. I was like, what you doing? Come Saturday. We doing infectious disease. I remember
the text that you sent me. You was like, where my baby at? You was like, what do I got to do to get you back in class?
Because I be trying to get you to know that on the other side of fucked up life, because I done had hands put on me. I done had all that shit happen. I done had it where my mother couldn't love me because she wouldn't be beating the shit out of me like this for 8 straight hours. I know that she doesn't love me. And then you're aware later when you learn abnormal psychology that, wow, she had schizophrenia all that time. I done had it where you just degraded because you were the smartest person in the world, and now you dumb as fucking dropped out. And then Tri-C tell you can't even fucking take classes yet because you need pre-classes because you that fucking dumb. And then like I done had all of that shit. You know, you pop up pregnant, and with your pregnancy you happy about, you got chlamydia at the same time, so now you breaking up with this bitch. And then fuck this, I can't have no baby right now. I mean, you just go through life. And I keep it transparent because I want you to reach back and to pull up and to push forward the people in your life that you know going through. And to know you got to get through this to help them. Otherwise, you can't help nobody. I should tell her all the time, you can't help them without helping yourself. Mm-hmm. Or all of y'all gonna be in a motherfucking dungeon here. You gotta bring yourself up. You here for a reason. Now let's do the damn thing. Get your shit so you can get everybody else on board with this. Your sons watch you when they were little. Mm-hmm. That's what you don't get. Mm-hmm. While they navigating through that STNA program, they fucking watched your ass role model for them how it's done. Yeah. And don't think that's their last stop, because I certainly don't. I'll see them in this class one day. You know that. So I get the daughters, I get the grandmamas, I get the mamas. I got this one in the back, I had her mama. I mean, it's a family affair. So what I want you to do when you see her, and you're going to see her again because it's a small world, say to yourself, she made it happen despite the odds. Even if you drop out, drop back in. Y'all done dropped out, dropped in, dropped around, dropped down. This one over here, oh yeah, she turning around. She got a great one for you. Yeah, wait till you hear. Okay, so I'm so fucking proud of you. Oh, yeah. Like, for real.
And shout out to my other grown kids too, because I got other grown babies that, you know, they were my other grown kids. My daughters was encouraging me, and they like, Ma, you can do this. You got this.
Your mama is golden.
Oh yeah,
she would not let you not take the test.
Oh yeah, she wasn't playing that. She was like, no, you done paid them your money. Then I heard your voice say that. I ain't
don't
gonna
waste
tell
your
you to
money.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's make sure everybody in the class know that. Maybe you just started my class and you think I don't know shit from Shine. Bullshit. You might. Don't let the test expire. Even if you have an ATT that expires in a week, a month, or whatever, go anyway, because you might just pass.
Yeah, because my deadline was the 30th. And that was the only test date that they ended up having available. And then I was trying to go back in there, cancel it, and see if I could get the 30th. It wasn't happening.
Like,
the 26th was like, oh yeah. So I was like, yeah, I got to go.
I love it. All right, we're going to turn this off and let her do